Belle Belle. Hey Bella. What you doing, baby girl? Yeah? I know, you're a good girl. Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Snow piles are really going down now. We got that little one left there. And we got a small little one here. Show you the sky. Partly cloudy. Right now we're in a sun patch, which is nice. But look at the sky, it's not bad. Excuse me. Anyway, so it's not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. Today is Wednesday. I'm not even sure what the date is exactly. I'm sorry. I think it's the 28th or the 29th. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't have my phone on me, so I can't even look at it to see. But anyway, it's not a bad day today. Getting decent amount of solar in so far. And but I wanted to talk to you guys today, and I've been putting a lot of thought into this. And I look at the comments, and I see what people say and the feedback back and forth, and and it's very strong views that people have. Okay, now I realize that a lot of my subscribers are most of my subscribers are very conservative. I should say that, but a good element of my subscribers are very Christian-based, Christian-oriented, which is fine. Like I said, I don't have an issue with that at all. So what we're going to do today, we're going to discuss something, and I'm going to base it, give you a couple examples on the Bible, okay? Because even though I'm not religious, I know the Bible inside and out. I've read the whole thing cover to cover. So it's like, I'm not ignorant of the Bible. So anyhow, talking about, prepping, trying to help people, trying to teach people, trying to wake as many people up as we can. Lucy, what you doing? He's a good boy. He's a good boy, you are. I'm sorry, cat distracted me. So anyway, trying to help as many people as we can. So I'm going to give you a couple examples in the Bible and compare it to what we do today as preppers, and like the people that have the YouTube channels and stuff like that. Okay. So let's look at. We're going to go back to Lot, his wife, and his 3 daughters, and the angels came down and told them that God was going to destroy the city, and they had to get out. So he pleaded with them to give him time to try to talk to some people and see if they could turn around from their immoral ways. And so I believe this part of it I'm sketchy on. I believe they were granted 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it was 3 days. So he went around and was trying to talk to people, and they laughed at him and wanted him to join in with what they were doing. And so once he realized that he couldn't save these people, even though he had warned them and tried to tell them what they needed to do, there was nothing they could do, and they had to leave the city, and the city was destroyed. And so they were the only ones that escaped. Okay. Obviously, the other example, and I used this one before, was Noah. And Noah was telling the people what was going on, and again, they laughed and they scoffed at him as he built his ark. And once they had the ark built, and he tried to talk to the people again to try to convince them to join him, to help him, and they, like I said, they laughed at him and thought it was a big joke. And him and his sons' wives and his wife and and all the animals 2 by 2, as the story goes, as you know. If you don't know, the 2 animals of every creature came on the ark, and so they ended up having a flood, and everybody was killed except for Noah and his family. So again, it's a good example of what did they do? They warned people. They tried to talk to people. Both cases, told them what was going to happen, and people laughed and they scoffed at him. So let's compare this to us, the modern day preppers and homesteaders, and where's the correlation? I believe it's our obligation and our duty to try to help people. I'm 100% believing of that. But you help people by teaching people to help themselves, okay? And if people laugh at you and scoff at you, and it happens a lot when people find out you're a prepper, they think that you're crazy, and they think that, you know, you're nuts, and why do you do that, and da 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 da, and they got everything in the world. But I believe that if, you know, we try to educate people, even if they laugh at us, and if they don't help themselves, once something does happen, which I truly believe that it will, once something does happen, now what is our obligation to those people? Now those people were going to come to you, now, and they're going to come to you in droves, looking for help and a handout and stuff like that. And I know a lot of you have said that you're going to make care packages and send them on their way with care packages. I honestly, personally don't believe that's going to work, because they're not going to go anywhere, because they have nowhere to go. They have no other means of surviving, and if they know you got food, and you know, and you would help them a little bit, people, we live in today's society, we live in an entitlement society, that people think that they deserve something, and they deserve nothing. Nobody deserves anything, okay? It's anyway. So my belief is this: our obligation as preppers, as off-gridders and homesteaders, is to try to teach people, try to open their eyes so that they can help themselves. If they choose not to, there's nothing you can do for them afterwards, because they weren't, you know, willing to listen, weren't willing to talk and find out what was going on. So whose fault is it then? It's not your fault. You've done everything that you possibly can do. And I'm going to tell you what, I got laughed at and scoffed at quite a bit, you know, and I don't even care, you know. I mean, a lot of my family thinks that I'm nuts that I do what I do. I don't care, you know. Now that I'm here and I'm doing what I'm doing and living as independently as I possibly can, I had a buddy of mine, real good friend, my friend that his wife passed away. She died, like I said, last year on his birthday. He hadn't been up here at all. So he finally came up here, and I've been talking with him a lot, okay? And he's finally kind of catching on and getting on board. But anyway, so he had come up and he said to me, "Wow, this is way better than I thought." And I said to him, I go, "Dude, what did you think? I'm living in a cardboard box?" You know, I mean, people have whatever misconceptions that they have on this lifestyle, and they get something in their head, and they don't realize that it's just realistically being as independent as I possibly can be. And so if nothing ever happens, it's not a big deal to me, because I don't have those bills that other people have, and I can have which frees up more time to spend with my family. That's what it's about. And at the end of the day, everything that I do is for my family, okay? And obviously my group of people that are going to join me once something happens. That's who I care about. That's who I'm going to watch out for, okay? I am not watching out for Joe Blow, who I talked to, and I told him what was happening, and he didn't listen. I can't watch out for him, you know, because he not because he laughed at me, not because, you know, now he needs help. I can't help him because of the simple fact is I gave him the opportunity to help himself. And when somebody won't even help themselves, why is it now my obligation to help them? Okay? Now, let's put it like this. If I have somebody come to me and said, you know, listen, you know, I need some help. And I said, okay, well, I'll tell you what. I need some help too. If you work for me for the day and do a good job, you know, and I'll feed you lunch and dinner, whatever, you know what I mean? You work for food, you know, and people will do that. It's going to happen. So, I mean, it's not, you don't instantaneously turn everybody away, okay? So you give them an opportunity. And there are good people out there, and there are good people that aren't awake. So it's unfortunate, and it happens. And I've said it over and over again that you're going to end up having people in your group that are going to be able to bring contributions to your group that you didn't even realize that you needed, like a dentist or something like that. I mean, you're not going to turn that person away because they're going to bring something positive into your group. But if you're bringing nothing into the group, you know, I'm sorry, there's nothing, you know, if you had the opportunity and I talk to everybody. I mean, you guys have no idea. I love talking prepping. I love talking living off grid. And but the thing is, this is about teaching and trying to wake people up. And if people won't do it, that's on them. You know what I mean? There's only so much we can do. And so, I mean, and I understand people wanting to help people, okay, afterwards. But you're bringing trouble to yourself, to be honest with you. You know, I just had somebody made a comment again on like what people would be willing to do after something happens. And I think people just don't really have a concept or a grasp. I study everything, okay? I study different things. And one of the most fascinating things that I study is human nature. And I know how evil we are to each other now. And I've said this before, and what we do to each other on a daily basis now. Do you think it's going to get better if there's a S.H.T.F situation? Do you think people are going to be kinder to each other? Absolutely not. We're horrible to each other now. So, you know, human nature is going to be, it's going to be survival of the fittest. And it's going to come down to, in the end, it's going to be groups of people working together, and then it's going to be the group of takers, basically. You know, your apex groups of people working together to try to make a normal, better life, and then you're going to have your apex predators, you know, that are going to be well armed, that may end up having ex-military people in their group that know what's going on and how to deal with things and stuff like that. It's going to happen, you know. So you got to just, you know, do the best that you can. You know, it's nothing is perfect, nothing is guaranteed. A lot of preppers will probably die. You know, it happens. You know, I plan on not being one of them. You know, it's doing the best you can with the time that you have. If you don't prep and you don't get ready, like I said, nobody owes you anything after something happens. Especially if you've been, you know, given information to be able to help yourself. Then whose fault is it? It's your own fault. So I just wanted to do a quick video on this subject because I think it's important. I think people need to really get an idea and a grasp of why things are the way they are, and what our role is as preppers, okay? And I know it's going to be hard for people to turn people away and not help, but you have to think of your family and your group first. That's what's got to come first, guys. And if you have people bring in positive stuff to your group and your family, then great, bring them in. But if they don't, you can't help everybody. You just can't. So anyway, listen, I'm going to jump off of here, and I hope everybody has a good day and are having a good week. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And remember, guys, you know, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. You never know what's going to happen, so it's very important to do that. And remember, it's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. You're going to get there. STD. So it's just, you'll get there. Just be pushing forward and prep. Get ready. I mean, because, like I said, you never know what's going to happen. Okay? I don't make claims to know. I know this is going to happen. I just feel like something is going to happen. And I can't say exactly what it is because it could be so many number of different things. So anyway, have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.